Welcome to a new vlog and welcome to some more packing. So it's school break here and my son is spending his time of school in Switzerland with my parents. And 2 weeks ago, we kind of spontaneously decided to, after going to Slovenia last week, now visit a family member somewhere else in Germany. And I'm not gonna do another packing video 10 days after the last. So it's, packing is just part of the video. Let me catch you up. So yesterday morning we arrived back from Slovenia and I will link you the video where I pack everything from Slovenia for Slovenia because it's kind of similar, the length of the trip. It's also kind of 5 days we're going now. And so I'm not packing the same things because it's not the same trip, but it's similar, so you will get a better idea and I'm not gonna lay out everything here again. Also, I will link you the travel vlog from Slovenia because I think it turned out really beautiful. And so if you want, you can watch it. I can highly recommend it. But now, let's still pack. Swimsuit, underwear, one pair of socks. I need to get more from the laundry, from the drying rack. 2 more socks. And I also found 2 t-shirts because for Slovenia, I kind of only packed 2, which was not really enough. I wish I packed 3 and now I'm packing 3. As always, I'm packing a lot of colorful standard and also organic basics things. I love these brands and I love their pieces, and I'm gonna link you the brands down below as well as coupon codes where you can get 10% off. This video is not sponsored. I really just use their clothes all the time. Wow, I just made a mess. These socks were washed inside out and now everything's dirty. I have to be honest. Oh, this time the whole packing thing feels a lot less organized because we just came back yesterday and I actually worked all day yesterday. We came with the night train and arrived here I think 7:30 in the morning, and then I just worked all day long to not have to work so much next week. And so I didn't really have any time to think about the whole packing for this trip now. Ebook reader, camera cleaning stuff. So I also have to record a podcast episode for me and Paulina's More or Less podcast before we leave. So I can't pack everything yet because I'm gonna bring my laptop because I need to do some work and some cables and things. But all the rest I try to pack before I record the podcast episode because after recording the podcast episode, we're gonna leave. So you see, it's a bit hectic here. And now I remembered, as you might know, I always take these toothpaste tablets with me. I use them at home as well, but there's just 3 in here, so that's not gonna be enough for a 5-day trip. Let me get some more. On my way there, I also grabbed the outerwear stuff. This time I'm even bringing sandals. So usually when traveling, I think really hard about bringing a second pair of shoes. But this time it's gonna be really hot. And I still want to bring my sneakers, hiking shoes, because we might go hiking and sandals are not really the best shoe for that. Sun hat, same thing when I'm going hiking. More than enough toothpaste tablets. And my rain jacket, because you never know, and I was really happy I brought that to Slovenia. And in Germany it can rain as well. Found one. Let me see how we can pack those efficiently. So, backpack kind of packed as always. I'm gonna put in my laptop charger, phone charger, headphones, hard drive. Okay, scrap everything I just said about tech. I'm not bringing my laptop because it kind of saves me 3 kilograms of taking stuff around. But now we're gonna record a podcast episode for the More or Less podcast, and I think this is gonna be an exciting one because we will talk about kind of a life update. Paulina has some exciting things to share. I'll kind of more in depth talk about my thoughts and feelings and things from our Slovenia trip. So I think it's content you're not gonna get anywhere else. And if you're like interested in that, I highly recommend you check out the podcast, which is always linked down below in the description. And as you might think, like recording the podcast now is also one of the reasons why I then don't need to take the laptop, and it just worked out for both of us, but I'm really glad I don't need to bring it now. And this is also kind of, I want to talk about minimalism a little bit here. So of course I'm like packing minimally because I think everything else just doesn't make sense, at least in my life. I hate carrying around too much luggage for no reason. And minimalism is something I've been doing for 7.5 years now. So it's been a really long time. And during the past 2 years, I kind of like questioned how much I am still a minimalist even, or like, can I still call that minimalism? Am I a minimalist? What defines minimalism? And of course, during the past like almost decade now, I've heard so many definitions of like, you know, there's these like less is more, or you only have what sparks joy, or you declutter everything that is not, you don't use on a regular basis. There are so many definitions. But I've been thinking about how I and my lifestyle kind of fit into this category of like being a minimalist, because minimalism just really doesn't take up any like time anymore in my everyday life. Like I don't spend my time decluttering. I don't spend my time trying to be a good minimalist. I don't spend my time doing minimalist things. But like yesterday or the day before, I just came up with a solution for this like kind of mental question I had. And that is that there's only one way minimalism makes sense long term, which is if minimalism becomes a habit. And if you define minimalism as a habit, and for me that would mean like packing minimally as a habit, asking yourself if you really need that thing that looks so sparkly and great in a store as a habit. Not, I don't know, bringing a ton of souvenirs when you're traveling. Making sure that you give things away that you realize you don't use anymore in everyday life. And I think just all of these little things that do not actively take up time anymore, also because they're a habit. But this is what makes minimalism really, really valuable. It's not my identity. It's not part of my day. It's not really something I do or I am. But minimalism is a habit that makes sure that I spend my time, energy, money, and everything, resources on the things that are important to me, while as a habit making sure I'm not bringing too many things, not buying too many things, not keeping too many things. And like this, it really does make my life better. Like this, I'm still very much a minimalist. And like this, I think it can be a valuable part of anybody's life. Again, without kind of taking up so many resources in the long run, which I think is important, because if minimalism becomes your identity and something you do all day, every day, like as a hobby, I don't think it really makes sense in the long run. And that's also kind of where it becomes toxic if you like think about minimalism and being a good minimalist all day long. I think that won't ever lead you to a better life in the long run. Let's now record the podcast. Ooh, yeah, it's like 4 minutes until we agreed on starting to record. Ooh. Ja, ehrlich gesagt sehe ich das manchmal auch bei richtig großen Accounts und klar möchte ich irgendwie mein Video immer richtig beenden, aber andererseits denke ich mir so. Okay, I'm done recording, the file is uploaded, and then we're ready to go. I think we're leaving in a few minutes. Do I have everything? I know I didn't forget anything important, because minimalism really helps with that, knowing what's really important. What? Because I'm not packing my computer now, I only need my phone charger, which also works for the camera, and my headphones. Okay, now I need this camera. And then we'll see us, I think, somewhere along the journey or when we arrive. I'm back and unpacking now. So we took the train this morning at 7 and now it's a few minutes after 11 and we are home. Sandals. But I'm not gonna show you the whole unpacking right now. I'm just gonna do laundry and work. So because I didn't bring my laptop, it was like hardcore work, the 24 hours I was home between the trips, and now immediately work again. I also did some work on our trip, but just kind of on my phone. But there's stuff I can't do on my phone, so that's gonna happen now. It was nice, like visiting family, and I recorded way less than I thought. Yeah, we just had a few chill days. It's nice to see them because they're not living here anymore, and so having a few days of a lot of time. But also, I'm glad to be back home. I'm glad to, I don't know, sleep in my own bed, have less company now, and kind of go back to my everyday routine. But I'm sure like in a week or two, I'm gonna miss travel and would love to go on the next trip. This time I packed a little more than I needed, but still it's like one t-shirt that I didn't use and one bra. So it's totally fine. Another thing that happened yesterday, unfortunately, while hiking, I trashed my phone. Can you see it? Oh, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna keep it like this for now, see if it works like this or if it kind of, the glass will just shatter more. I'm definitely gonna fix it, but let's see. Not decided yet. I'm always bummed when stuff like that happens, but on the other hand, phones are just something I use every day so much that it's usually just a matter of time because, yeah. Okay, unpacked. Backpack is empty again. And I'm, by the way, gonna link you wakes down below. Again, it's the backpack I use for everything since way over 3 years. Still super happy with it. Still nothing that I could like complain about. And it's a trustworthy, sustainable backpack that I like using. dressed again. Good morning. So this was the third swim of the year and it was just amazing. And I realized that like slowly I'm having more faith in my abilities and can trust myself more and go for like longer swims in the lake. Like I'm not alone here, but I'm not sure if there's like a swim guard or anything. I don't think so. I'm getting to know myself and my body so that I know how long and how far I can swim. But I want to say something else. Kind of on a discussion of minimalism long term and living a minimalist life and what is a minimalist life. Several weeks ago I made a video about like life after decluttering. And I think in the thumbnail I wrote less stuff, more life. And this sentence kind of stuck in my head, and I think that just really describes well what I'm experiencing. So decluttering doesn't play a huge role anymore in my life, and my stuff kind of can just move away from the focus. I realized that I really have this feeling of having enough, even though there's several stuff that's like broken that I maybe want to have a better version of. Yes, that still exists, but in general, I have enough. Like I'm not feeling like I'm missing a bunch of things that would make my life better. And this is such an amazing feeling. And so I'm just trying during the past few years and more living the life I enjoy, of course in a very sustainable way. But for example, going to the lake in the morning. Now, of course, my job grants me the time and the possibility to do that, but it's free, it doesn't take up so much time, and it brings me so much joy. And so I think that is minimalism long term. Figuring out what's important to you and being able to have the things in your life that are important, the things that bring you joy, the things that you just love doing. That also is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna link you a video here, the Slovenia vlog, because I think that's just also an example of things I enjoy in my life after decluttering. So I hope you check it out. Also, thank you to all of you who have been watching until now, and also to all of you who support me on Patreon or here with super thanks. And thank you for being here. Goodbye.